Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNate at BloodyElbow.com, joined once again by the ineffable, the inevitable, the ineluctable Eugene S. Robinson. Lavender belt, or is that a mauve belt?
Man, I don't even know what color mauve is. Thank you very much.
Mauve is
I'm,
sort of
I'm
like
shocked and appalled that you do.
I once had a Toyota Corolla that was mauve. That's why I learned.
You should just stop talking now.
It was a sweet 1990 Toyota Corolla that got me
ooh,
to.
I think it was a little off chartreuse, really. Okay. All right, Mr. Interior Designer. All right.
Now we are here for the one, the only, the UFC Care Don't Care preview for UFC Fight Night Boston with Conor McGregor and Dennis Siver in the headline. We're also going to touch on the Bellator and the World Series of Fighting events, just the main events, just to see if we care or don't care.
Hey, you know what? You know what I thought was really interesting? That last UFC fight. I don't remember who the fighter was that got walked in, but was Ray Sifo walked him in, and I was waiting for Goldberg or Rogan to say, "Hey, there's the president of WSOF out there," and it was like they were shocked and said nothing. They're like, and then finally Goldberg kind of chimes in with, "Hey, it's world champion Ray Sifo." that's like describing Barack Obama as, "And there's a tall Negro, Barack Obama."
State Senator Barack Obama.
Yeah, right. State Senator Barack Obama, tall Negro.
Yeah, well, it's not like the World Series of Fighting has exactly got the UFC quaking in their boots.
No, it doesn't. But I just thought it was like, Stalin didn't have to have those guys airbrushed out of the photos either, but he did it.
That's true. Somehow you got your camera bouncing around in the front of your shot. You got.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I see what's happening. We're not on the camera.
Yes, I see.
All right, hold on. Hey, man, you get what you pay for, Jack.
Hey.
Hey, at least you pay.
Exactly. I mean, that's you don't know how many times I've been told that, but bump. Anyway, that was.
Okay, that was a prostitution joke. I got it. Okay.
That's one line I've not crossed in my young life. Actually, I'm proud to say.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Well, I've heard differently. I think. Yeah.
I mean, I won't say I haven't been whored, or been a fool with my money with women, but.
Oh, hold on. This is craziness here.
Now you're just having ridiculous camera problems, and you're supposed to be giving us a disclaimer about the care don't care. Can you do both at once?
Yeah, I can do both at once. So, this has nothing to do with your fighting might, with your technical acumen, with your skills or abilities in the cage, but it has everything to do with the shut the fuck up.
This is a professional entertainment package we're delivering today.
Oh man, nah, I'm kidding. All right, hold on.
Go back to the other camera. It looked fine.
I'm gonna go back to the other camera here. How's that? God damn it! Now I got no camera.
Now you got nothing.
All right.
There you go. All right. There he's back.
So let me finish with my disclaimer, which was.
But now you're still holding the other camera, which you don't have to do.
Man, you're like some kind of taskmaster.
I'm on it, man. I'm gunning for that. Colbert.
There we go.
All right, now he's holding the camera.
I love how Colbert retired like too short. We're retiring. 2 weeks later, the new Stephen Colbert show is coming out.
Well, he retired the persona.
Whatever.
He didn't retire as a performer.
I don't wear the pirate suit anymore either. I'm not making nobody cares about that. I say that because I used to be Captain Hook in the musical Peter Pan.
Let's see. The long time.
Ooh, the swiniest swine in the world, Captain Hook. Captain Hook.
Were you in one of the Pedo Bear specials like Steven Spielberg's Captain Hook? Or?
No, thank God, no. But I had my share. I had my share of casting couch moments back when I was hanging out with the guys at Interview Magazine. Andy would like to invite you to a party. Oh, great. That'd be great. Say, would you be comfortable maybe bringing your posing trunks and posing? I go, sort of like a bodybuilder Roman theme, huh? And they look at me like, yeah, kinda. I was like 16 and stupid. Yeah, kinda.
Hey, it's Andy Warhol, man. You should have been flattered.
Hey, where are you getting the other bodybuilders from? He's like, other bodybuilders?
To be young and stupid.
Yeah, anyway. So it has nothing to do with your technical fighting abilities, but has everything to do with the marketing heft that the UFC has put behind you. So don't be a cry baby bedwetter and get your feelings hurt over this. Move yourself from don't care to care. And it happens. Paul, Philadelphia, Renzo Gracie guy who had the spinning back fist. What was his last name?
Necker.
It was a Jewish surname.
Let's see. I know this.
He calls himself the Irish Dragon. Paul. Well, he did. Chris Collier-Green did. Ally Quinta did.
Ally Quinta in a big way. Paul Felder.
Yes, Paul Felder. These guys, it is possible. We're not assholes. Well, we are assholes, but it is possible to move from don't care to care.
It is.
There's my overly long disclaimer.
Excellent. And right quick, before we get to the UFC, Friday night we've got a Bellator featherweight title fight between Patricio Pitbull Freire and Daniel Strauss. What's your care, don't care levels?
Man, I don't. I've been getting the press releases and I've been inducements to get the credentials, and I really want to be a booster in general. And
Temecula.
What do you think you just said?
Where the hell is Temecula anyway? Is it in Bigfoot country, way north of Sacramento, like in the middle of nowhere?
You know what? I have no idea. I've been there, but it left the same sort of impression on me, which is pretty much, But I don't know.
I see.
I don't know what to. So yeah, my general
That's
level.
way south. I didn't know. It was that south.
I was. But that's just me and my, it's not a Northern California thing. But I in general, I feel really bad saying this. I just don't care. I don't care. I mean, and I have to say, I'm in a rarefied position to don't care because I've said before, I don't want to see guys fight who I'm better than. Okay, but I stink. So how about I don't want to see guys who are not better than guys who I watch. My coaches here saying that's right. you do stink. There he is. There he is, Coach Dream Crusher Leopoldo Serral. You don't just stink. You suck. So I mean, if I'm watching guys who are pretty good, we had Sean Bunch in here this past week. We've got guys coming through here. It's hard for me to. It feels like I've wandered into a gym and I'm watching some guys spar, and you really have to move. I mean, if you're looking at an Uber care don't care, I'm gonna just have to say I love those guys, but I'm not really caring.
I see. It's hard for me to get too pumped about Pitbull versus Strauss because I feel like we've seen it before. I am kind of pumped about George Karakanyan versus Bubba Jenkins, though.
Yeah, the Bobby Jenkins fight. You're right. But pumped is an aggressive word. I don't know that's a word that I would have used.
Mildly interested. How about that?
I'll use that. So.
And then we also got Houston Alexander versus Virgil Zwicker. It's Houston Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but I'm interested for my it's morbid fascination that drives me in regards to Houston Alexander.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like I said, man, there's a certain element of sausage making to MMA, or like Coach Dream Crusher had said to me at one point, MMA is stupid, and I mean, it's because, anything that's worth doing and is worth doing well and is good to do, there's some sort of longevity to it. But, and I'm going to have to say, at wrestling, I don't know too many 52-year-old wrestlers, but I know quite a few, well, not quite a few, but I know a few 52-year-old jiu-jitsu guys. It'd be nice to be able to, I don't know too many 52-year-old gymnasts, I
don't know too many gymnasts in their 20s.
Yeah, right. So these have to be, in my mind, stupid sports because they rob you of your youth.
You can say the same thing about ballet dancing.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Also stupid. Stupid. In the same way. I mean, because not everybody's going to be a BJ Penn and get an Elvis black belt. In 3 years you got a black belt. Some people will take longer. 5 years, 10 years invested, you're going to age out. That's not good. That's not fun.
No, brutal. But real quick, World Series of Fighting 17, Jake Shields versus Brian Foster.
Yep, I care.
Yep,
You
this
know,
is your man Jake Shields.
friend of Knuckle Up, Jake Shields. You know, also on the path. You know, I mean, he's in a real interesting place. This is a path to a certain type of redemption, or I mean, it's not fait accompli that he'll never be in the big show again. But the road that he has to, the road he has to hoe is a tough one. But despite what I thought he might do, he is actually getting at it. Whatever. He used to fight. He used to fight at county fairs. 300-pound lesbians, and then he fought the UFC, and it could be just like, I'm up the ladder, I'm down the ladder, screw it. But there's always, I mean, one of the exciting things about MMA is that there's mobility. Which you can't say too many other places in America. There's not real class mobility in America. Even if you win the lottery, there's not class mobility. Nobody's invite you to. All right, man. Well, nobody's invite you to Carnegie Hall. You're not hanging out with, the rarefied air of old money. There's not, So Jake Shields could conceivably work his way. It's a hard road, but it could happen. So it's good to watch, and I like to watch.
Did you see that he came clean about what he popped for when he failed his drug test a while back in the UFC?
Yeah.
Diuretics. So he didn't say what diuretic. He didn't give away his secret recipe, but he did admit he was using diuretics to cut weight. So.
Okay. All right.
All right. So,
wait, hold on. I could see you didn't get that. Wait, let me do it again.
I'm baffled. You got to explain these things. I'm an idiot. What are you doing? What is this?
I'm just doing the eyebrows, the query eyebrows.
Very interesting. Let's see. So, expressing a certain amount of skepticism.
That's my Nazi thing. How touching. Okay. All right.
Well, surely he said it under oath before the commission, so surely no one would lie to an athletic commission under oath.
No. And I mean, it's like your girlfriend says, "Have you cheated on me?" And you go, "Yes, I have. I'm very sorry. This is terrible." He goes, "I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. I can't believe you did it to me this one time." Yeah, this one time.
I wouldn't know anything about that sort of thing, but a friend of mine who apparently has cheated on his girlfriend, he swears by the old, just admit it. Just like, if you're caught, just admit it. Don't deny.
Except that leads to an awful type of sex addiction, because you go, if I'm going to get hung for a sheep as well as a lamb, I might as well, if you're going to get busted once, you might as well have 10 that you got away with. See, this is how you get in trouble.
Well, I don't think he's ever paused on the bad deeds.
I know a guy who was actually screwing a woman in his room when his fiance walked in. She screams, runs out, comes back like half an hour later upset. He convinces her that he was watching porn on the TV and was masturbating while watching porn on the TV.
Wow, he convinced her that the woman she saw was imaginary.
Was a woman on the TV.
Wow.
He got away with it.
Wow.
This kid's 19 and got away with it.
Wow. That girl must have been pretty hung up on him. Like, deluded.
She's pregnant with his kid now, so
Ouch. Ouch. Well, bully for her. Here's the young love.
well, no. It gets even better and creepier, and I cannot let you walk away not having heard the full story. She's engaged in having a kid with a guy whose father she used to date.
Wow. And is he Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, perchance?
If only. Yeah, if only. In other words, her fiancé and father of her child is somebody whose diapers she used to change.
Wow. Wow. Now that part I didn't.
You didn't put that together, huh?
No, I thought maybe she had dated the old man recently, not that she had. Wow.
You're just when you thought your morning wasn't creepy enough. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's.
Miss Robinson has creepified your day in total.
Indeed. I'm waiting to Donna Shalala because people have been asking what Donna Shalala is, and I want a chance to explain. But I'm going to wait until you earn it.
Oh, so, I'll do it naturally. Don't worry.
All right, yeah. But whether or not I'll catch it, that's the thing.
My old lady actually was trying to Donna Shalala me, and she was just shocked. She goes, I was there. I'm telling her a story about something that happened, and she was there. She couldn't even think straight enough to get to Donna Shalala because she was shocked that I'd forgotten that she was standing right there.
Does she use the Donna Shalala terminology in your private?
She hasn't.
I didn't think so. Has she watched the show?
She does watch the show. You know.
Oh, that's good. I made my wife watch the show once. She enjoyed it. But
yeah, once.
You know, time is money, Eugene.
What is your mother? What is your mother? Your little electronic karate magazine. That was great.
And that's after sitting her down, you know, in front of the computer every Christmas holiday for years, trying to explain what I do.
Yeah, my mom watches the show. She likes it. She gets it.
Well, your mom, you know, savvy with the technology in a way. My mother maybe never will be. But let's move on to the card. Yes. We've got a 3-section card. This card is happening on Sunday night during the Patriots playoff game. Much of the card. The main event will probably be starting after the Patriots game is over. But anyway, so Sunday night, I was totally shocked by this.
That's weird. I didn't put together until just now that it was fucking Sunday night. I was making plans to go up and watch it at somebody's house on Saturday. Imagine our surprise.
Exactly.
We sat there in front of the TV on Saturday.
Exactly, but on the other hand, it's 2 Saturday nights off in a row unless you're watching World Series of Fighting, which, of course, you know, being a dedicated MMA journalist, I won't be. But, all right, so preliminary card, UFC Fight Pass, flyweights, Tateki Matsuda versus Joby Sanchez.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. Sorry, guys. Light heavyweights, Sean O'Connell and Matt Van Buren. Not Martin Van Buren, but Matt Van Buren.
Oh, man. I don't care.
I don't either, but I like that presidential timbre of his name.
I like that. I like that you made the jump, you know.
Yeah.
Who was the guy, the president, who had the shortest administration ever because he gave the longest inauguration speech?
William Henry Harrison.
William Henry
got himself pneumonia.
He had good sense to get out early.
Yep. You know, and left a dud. John Tyler, one of the worst presidents ever, was his VP. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm still mad because the Whig Party had a chance. The Whigs had a chance. John Tyler betrayed him. Anyway, so featherweights. This is the Fox Sports 1 prelim card, and it's 6 fights long. Featherweights. Charles Rosa.
I don't even know what you just said, man. How is it possible that a man like me is confused this early in the game? Fox Sports, we've gone from Fight Pass to Fox
because
Sports. Because
the
1,
Whig
right?
Party represented a middle way in American politics, Eugene. All right. Anyway, so this is the Fox Sports 1 card. It starts with featherweights Charles Rosa and Sean Soriano.
No.
No, me neither. All right. Lightweights Johnny Case and Frankie Perez.
No, sorry.
Again, like, who are these people? Flyweights Patrick Holohan and Shane Howell.
I think we're going to have a SOS line to Patrick Wyman right now.
You know what? God damn, I forgot to book Patrick Wyman because he had his week off. My bad.
Oh, he had a week off, huh?
Well, I mean, you know.
What's that like?
It was delightful, Eugene. You saw me working on my Christmas holiday. Come on, I drove across the bridge.
You were here giving me pneumonia. Which I still haven't recovered from, Jack. You know?
Well, those baby germs are tough, Eugene. You got to keep your immune system in preschool condition. But we'll have Patrick Wyman on next time. My apologies.
All right.
Just complete incompetence. Anyway, All right, so lightweights. So we don't care about flyweights, Patrick Holohan or Shane Howell. Now we've got lightweights, Zhang Liping and Chris Wade. Yeah, exactly. Welterweights, John Doomsday Howard and Lorenz Larkin. Huh?
Yes, all right.
Yes.
All right.
Now we get to a fight we care about, and yet I don't like either of these guys. They're both hopelessly boring.
Yeah. I mean, Lorenz Larkin.
He promises action with his little Muay Thai miniskirt, but then he's like a one-strike kind of, easily mugged guy. So, yeah. But now we're to the prelim card headliner, welterweights Cathal Pendred and Sean Spencer.
Yes, I like Cathal Pendred, mostly because the fury that comes from a guy named Cathal is something of a beauty to behold.
You think that even
in a boy named Sue kind of way.
So he was born in Boston, so yeah.
Wow. It's like my friend Wiener.
The congressman? Former
No,
congressman?
no, that was his last name. This is my friend Wiener. That's his first name.
They named him Wiener?
Yeah, I tried to think maybe like I was mispronouncing it, you know. He's like, no.
He was German, Polish,
Nope, he was Haitian. And,
Haitian.
and he told his father at one point, I'm going to change my name. His father got super offended, so he was like, fuck it. I said, so is it pronounced Viner? He goes, nope, Wiener. That's how it's pronounced.
Wow.
So he had a real good sense of humor, as you might have to.
I would think.
Uh,
I would think. It's hard for me to get too excited about Cathal Pendred because he's sort of like Conor McGregor light. Like, although
yep.
he's undefeated in the UFC, he's 2-0. So.
Hey man, Irish guys got a thing, you know. There's a heavy chip going on the shoulder, both shoulders.
Big chip,
know?
big chip.
Holders. So,
in theory, I totally feel for their plight, but in practice, boy, do they.
But I tell you, I've had nothing but good times. I remember sitting there when we're doing the Marian Faithful thing, sitting there in a restaurant.
Doing the Marianne Faithful thing now.
Yeah, when she sang on this the Oxbow record, Serenade in Red.
I didn't know. How did I miss this? I even have that album. How did I miss that?
We're never gonna get to Donna Shalala. We recorded at Windmill Lane, which is U2's studio. So we had a couple of off days where U2, I forget what record they were recording. They were not in the studio, and they said, "Yeah, sure, you can use it," which was great because my whole thing, I was trying to poop in the guy's drum. He left one of his drums around. I go, man, wouldn't it be great if I left a big turd in U2's drum kit? And everybody was like, ah, ha, ha. But like they didn't realize I actually wasn't joking, you know. But I just couldn't really bring myself to fucking poop in the guy's thing because especially since you had to leave the tape there for them to mix, and we had to fly back, so we were relying on them to send stuff. So I didn't want to. Oh, we'll send stuff with the poop. I said no, so I didn't do it. But so we were in their studio in Dublin, but we went to eat, and it's me and our guitar player, and there's this couple sitting a few tables away. They keep looking, they're whispering, people are looking, and finally the guy at a couple comes over and says, "Hey, you guys American?" And we're like, "Yeah." They said, "Are you here with the JFK?" I guess it was a big Navy ship. I go, "Do we look like Navy guys?" It's like, "No." So we tell them what we're doing, and they're like, "You gotta come with it." When we come over to the table, there are already 5 bottles of wine empty on the table.
I see. A
man and a woman together, 5 bottles. So they start drinking. By the time we leave that table, there are like 7 more bottles. They say, "We're going to take you to a private club, you know, private club. Only the top Dublin gangsters go to this club." So you have to do like a special knock in this club. So we go to this club, and it is like douchebag central, you know, guys with chains, the Irish version. And he goes, "I'm going to get some more drinks." So he goes up to toddle off to get some drinks. I'm sitting there on the couch next to his girlfriend. She's watching him toddle off, and she goes, "You know, Irish men are so out of touch with their sexuality." And all right, my spider sense is going, uh-oh. And then she looks at me and she goes, "What's you?" And I was like, "All right, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here." I'm trying to, my guitar player is all like lounging and then by the time he knew it was time to leave when the couple was sitting on opposite ends of the couch with us in between them sobbing.
How does this connect back to Marianne Faithful?
Because she was in the recording session. That's where she sang with us.
She has nothing to do with this anecdote.
Yeah, I know. She was in the studio, but it was just
at first I thought it was going to be Marianne Faithful that was in the bar, and then I thought it was going to somehow meet Marianne Faithful at the gangster club.
No. Marianne Faithful was just in the studio, but she was giving us fits when we did it. I mean, it was
difficult.
It was very. You deal with rock royalty. It was fucking enervating, man. I mean, even we flew over there and her phone was disconnected, and we had no idea if she was going to show up. She finally shows up, and she's like, "The light is not right. It's too cold in here. Now it's too hot in here. Now I'm nervous." She had this guy from this band, the Golden Horde, who I mispronounced. He says, "My band's the Golden Horde." I go, "Oh, the Golden Whore." And they're like, "No, Horde." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Get some weed." So we get some weed, and I can just see the session spiraling out of control. Finally, she's like, "I can't get it right." They say, "Okay, let Eugene sing his part." And we're in the room together, and I just fucking belt it out. And she gets this panicked look on her face, and she goes, "I'll let you do this alone." And she leaves the room. Leaves the room. And I'm like, fuck. So I finish my part, and then she comes in, and she kills her part. And I was like, Thank God. Thank God.
The lady's a pro. You don't get to be rock royalty for just
right,
fucking
right.
Mick, Keith, and Brian Jones.
But her great line from there was like, "Oh, where do you guys play next?" I go, "Play nothing. We got to get back to work." She goes, "You work?" I said, "Yeah, we have day jobs." And she turns to her manager and goes, "Francois, I want a day job." And all the guys in the studio, all of us kind of go.
Well, at least you didn't pull a Marion Barry on you and try to get $50 for crack. Like,
no, but there was.
She used to do that, by the way.
There was a moment where she was trying to decide which of us she was going to sleep with, and
she what, in her mid-60s by this point?
I don't know. And she picked her manager Francois, which I was pretty happy for later, since then it later came out that she had hep. So.
Ouch. Well, I'm glad to hear you would have sucked it up and done your rock and roll duty there, just because.
I didn't say anything like that. I was a happily married man at that point.
I see, of course, naturally. All right, so back to the topic at hand. Now we're to the main card.
Which is what?
What? Cage fighting, Eugene.
Oh, yes.
Fire with passion about cage fighting.
Right, all right.
4 fights, main card, Fox Sports 1, lightweights, Norman Park and Gleason Tibau.
Yep.
All right, and do you have a pick?
You know, I've been having my pen poised to shunt Tibau into gift territory, but he's looked okay, and he's got a win-loss record that's, you know.
That's a guy you can trust, Eugene. You can trust him to put on a mediocre, boring performance and win at least half his fights.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about Gleason in this one, and because I can live with the proviso that you just spooled out. So. Yeah.
Also, I don't see Norman Park beating him. I mean, there's a reason you call guys like Gleason Tibau gatekeepers, and it's like Norman Park. It's like the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. Norman Park is not the big Billy Goat Gruff.
I love that story. Yeah.
I do too. I've been reading that to my little daughter, or trying to read it. She won't let me finish it. Like, to get her to finish a new story, I have to like hold the book out of her reach and hold her screaming, you know, to keep her from trying to turn the pages. But we made it through Little Red Riding Hood the other day, and now she won't stop. Once you get through a story, then you have to read it over and over again.
Voices, so yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did I lose you? What's going on? All right. So now I'm trying to decide if I care about Norman Park and Gleason Tibau, though. I'm familiar with both of them, but it's hard to muster up any enthusiasm. But now we've got Uriah Hall, middleweight, Uriah Hall against Ron Stallings, last-minute substitute, who trains under the one and only Lloyd Irvin. What are you doing with your camera there?
Because I just realized that I'm on Wi-Fi, and that's why it's so sketchy. So I want to get the cable
out. Get the landline plugged in, son.
Yeah, because you know, I felt pretty sorry for dude with this trying to get. It's like, you know, this is his third opponent.
Yep. We've had one guy in there for like a day.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Costas Philippou, then it was supposed to be Lewis Taylor, and then now it's Ron Stallings, who's coming in off a loss. So it's kind of a gimme for Uriah Hall. On the other end, it's also a big opportunity for him to shake hands with Sensei Lloyd Irvin.
Shake hands, man. You gotta.
Don't sign up for any seminars while you're doing it, though. That's the thing. And now it seems like the connection's worse, Eugene. Now you're frozen.
Yeah, frozen. Can you see me?
I can hear you now, but I can't see you. There, I see some movement.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're back.
You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm good. The less I say about Lloyd Irvin, probably the happier I'm gonna be.
Yeah, I agree. So, and so we got to pick Uriah Hall to beat the short notice guy coming in off a loss. I mean, finally, I'm hoping he'll seize the opportunity to get a fancy knockout, though. Like, you know, this is a guy who's out of touch with his knockout power. Did I lose you again? Now you're frozen and inaudible. Ugh. All right. Well, I don't really want to talk about Lloyd Irvin solo. Are you back? We've got a dark screen.
Oh. Can you?
I can sort of hear you and not quite see you.
All right. Yeah, I'm It looks like I'm frozen with the hand of death here.
Oh, well, that's fine. I can hear you talking, so just keep talking. People can look at my beautiful face. Lightweights, Donald Cerrone and Benson Henderson.
That's a big care, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Cerrone coming in on insanely short notice, like 3 weeks' notice. just fresh off a big win at UFC 182 over Miles Jury, and now here he is fighting old rival Benson Henderson. Kind of crazy. Eddie Alvarez was supposed to fight Benson Henderson. So, do you have a pick? And we lost Eugene. There he
is. Yeah.
You sound like R2D2. I can hear that. But the other comments you made, it sounded like R2D2 beeping at me. Catch the hip movie reference.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. Oh,
and then you broke up again.
Okay,
but that sounds good. Give me a pick. Yeah. Huh?
Yep. Can you hear me? I just got some sign from Google.
I can hear you now.
All right. Okay. Quick. I'm gonna pick. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna have to pick Ben.
Because of the short notice.
Yeah. Because of the short notice.
And he's also beaten Cerrone in the past.
And he's also got a. And I just don't see him. I mean, this would be a great win. This would be a great win for Cerrone, but I just.
Yeah, I don't see it either. And I think the thing with Cerrone is that for him to beat you, he's got to intimidate you, I think. And I don't think Benson Henderson's going to be intimidated by a guy he's fought and beat twice. So I got to go with Benson. Also, the short notice thing, I just think it's completely stupid and crazy. And I've completely lost Eugene now, just in time for the main event. This is torturous. Murder torture. Okay, I'll explain the Donna Shalala thing for those of you who don't know. Donna Shalala is the former Health and Human Services Secretary for President Bill Clinton in the 90s. That's right, a full member of the United States presidential cabinet. And Eugene was in the middle of telling us some story he's told us many times. It might have been the Matt Hughes motel room story. It might have been the Jake Shields threesome story. I don't know. But he was telling some story, and he just mentioned as an aside that he had once played golf with Donna Shalala. Now, I couldn't imagine a more improbable pairing than Eugene Robinson and Donna Shalala, former Health and Human Services Secretary of the Clinton administration. And I said, what? You're rehashing this stale old story about Matt Hughes or whatever, and you've got this Donna Shalala story in your pocket you're not telling me? That's the origin of the Donna Shalala rule. So now whenever Eugene's repeating himself, and I catch him, I think Eugene's texting me now. Whenever he's repeating himself and I catch him in the act, which isn't often because my memory is terrible too, I call him and I call out Donna Shalala to remind him of the great stories he's got in his back pocket that he has yet to share with us. So he tells us he's trying to get back in. As you can see, he's trying to get back in. So I'll just keep blabbing. And
all right.
Hey, there we go. Now. Frozen?
That was torture. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. That's all right. I just explained the origin of Donna Shalala in terms of our show.
Oh, good.
Yes. All right. So, as I was saying, Benson Henderson not going to lose to somebody. Donald Cerrone, is not going to beat somebody who's not intimidated by him. Benson Henderson not intimidated by Cerrone. Plus short notice, Henderson win.
Yep. And also Cerrone knows that he's got nothing to lose even if he loses. So
exactly.
I don't know. I'm sure he doesn't want to chalk up a second loss to Ben Henderson.
Third.
But he realizes. Oh right, yeah. He realizes if he does, whatever.
Yeah. He's got a 6-7 fight win streak going in the UFC right now. A 6-fight win streak. He's coming in on short notice as a favorite to the boss. Nothing bad's going to happen to Donald.
I suspect he's a liar. I suspect that despite what he says, that he really does know what money is.
I think he knows it's the stuff that he spends too fast.
Yeah, well, and the stuff that they pay him a lot of, because he's like, I'll do whatever you say, boss. Nothing I hate more than a yes man. Isn't that right, Cerrone? Yes, boss. Yeah. All right, okay. The guy's, he's got the right fucking attitude, I look at him, you want to talk about polar opposites. I remember, one of the geniuses of somebody like Kung Lee was that he was as involved in his competitor picking as he was any aspect of his training. It's like, this is a good fight for me. This is not a good fight for me. When I was training down there, his obsession was, I think I matched up pretty well with Anderson Silva. I mean, I thought about that for a long time. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I go, yeah. Crazy like a crab or a fox or a snake or something.
Crazy like a crab. I haven't heard that one before. I kind of agree, though. I think his style, like when he was in his athletic peak, and Anderson Silva was as well, that Anderson Silva, with his weakness in wrestling, Kung Lee's style kind of, he's an excellent wrestler. But what would he do with Anderson Silva on the ground? Not much.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he was putting serious time in figuring out grappling. So who knows?
Yeah.
But so I mean, so I look at it like, okay, he's super, super cautious. But then there's the other way of just like, you know what? I got 12 years, and in that 12 years, I could fight a lot or I could fight a little. And if you're in a position to be able to pick and choose high-profile fights each time, like Mr. John Bone Jones, God love you. But if you're anybody else, what do you put in your tax return? Fighter. If you're not putting down fighter, and if you're putting down fighter, you're not fighting, then you need to put down gym owner, personal trainer, Instagram model,
fireman.
I do not want to see women fighters naked. Can I say that? And I don't want to see it on Instagram. Don't want to see it. Sorry.
You say this, and yet, what about Tito Ortiz? Isn't it blatant hypocrisy? Didn't everybody enjoy Tito Ortiz's nude photos on Instagram?
I didn't, and Jeff Monson's crazy ex-girlfriend also sent me nude photos of Jeff Monson, not in my position as an MMA journalist of some kind, but she sent them to me when I was doing the porn site.
What, like as an audition photo or something, or just thought you'd be interested? Now we've lost you again. You mentioned
here. Huh?
Oh, she sent those to everybody though to try to get them to publish.
I didn't like getting them. Is what I'm saying.
Nobody likes getting those. That's a universal MMA media experience. Pictures of Jeff. Now Tito's cock.
You getting those? I did.
Yeah. Now you're having the troubles again.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what.
No, I'm back.
You're back. Yeah. No. Nobody liked seeing Jeff Monson nude. Tito, on the other hand, now that was traffic. That was crazy mad traffic.
I don't want to see Tito nude, man. I don't want to see.
I didn't want to see it either, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind having the photos. Like, it's a purely mercenary calculation for me, Eugene. If the guy's gonna make me money, then by all means, take nude pictures and distribute them. John Jones's freakish whatever Vine he did or whatever with the chick.
Which one?
The one where I can't remember. He said something vulgar and people freaked out. Like and it was deleted before we could get it up on the site, which that was
tweeting and deleting.
Tweeting and deleting. That guy, just like going to rehab and popping right out after one day. What do you think of that?
I'm cured. I'm cured. God damn, this is an amazing place, man. Their program is airtight. I feel fine. I feel fine now. I feel fine.
Remember back in the 80s when Ozzy Osbourne would be on Good Morning America every couple of years, and he'd be visibly drunk or fucked up, and he'd be like, I just came out of rehab, and it was the best 6 weeks of my life. I'm clean and sober now for the first, and he'd just repeat that endlessly every time.
Every time he got out of rehab,
Yeah, and he was just obviously fucked up. He looked like Chuck Liddell on that morning show, and he's falling over.
Chuck Liddell was he was vying to get the summer stock thing of Sid Vicious in that play. I'm sorry. What was the question again? Yeah.
Right. Are you the one with the theory that Sid Vicious's mom killed him?
No, that's not.
Have you heard this one?
No, I haven't heard this.
I see. There's some guy who's got a big theory. I read stayed up too late reading websites and that it was a mercy killing that she OD'd him because she knew he couldn't handle prison.
Nah, he had already been raped in prison, man. So
yeah. Like he didn't want more of it.
Yeah, extreme state, man. I mean, they're not gonna rape you every day, you know.
You don't think? I don't know. It depends who your cellmate is.
Hello.
Hey, now you're flickering in and out. We got to get to the main event. Conor McGregor, Dennis Siver. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, and I care.
Of course we care. Do you care about Dennis Siver's role in the proceedings?
Yeah, Dennis Siver made me care because he said the best part about this is going to be punching Conor McGregor in the face repeatedly, and when I win, I'm going to scream my head off like a banshee. I was like, fuck, man. The possibility of seeing Siver do all of those things makes me really fucking happy, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't either. Did you see Lorenzo Fertitta coming out and saying that the reason we didn't put Dennis Siver in the promos was just to piss people off? Oh, Google is killing me today, Eugene. It's killing me. You're frozen with a lovely smile on your face this time. There he is. There he is.
All right.
All right. So, did you hear about Fertitta? What Fertitta admitting that they were trolling UFC fans with the original promos for the event that made no mention of Dennis Siver?
Yeah, that sounded crazy to me. That sounded so crazy to me. I thought I said it. You know.
Do you believe it or not?
I believe it, man. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? You know. I think they just forgot and were like, oh, yeah. And
we meant to do that.
Yeah, we meant.
But what kind of out is it of a promotional mistake to just say, hey, fans, we were just rubbing your faces in it. Like, fuck you, we're just trolling you. Like,
yeah,
is that...
but look, a friend of mine had pranked me really bad one time, and we went to some King of the Cage or Gladiators Challenge. I go, I'm going to get him back, and he goes to get a drink or something, and I take one of these those cinch ties that cops use now to handcuff protesters, and I cinch tied his gym bag to the table leg. I mean, it wasn't apples and apples, but I figured I gotta get him back, you know.
Isn't it a table leg like you can just pick it up and?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why it wasn't that great. But no. Actually, it was a chair leg because it required him to take out his knife and cut it.
All right.
So we stand up. You know, I have to wait the whole fight for this to book up. We stand up to leave. He grabs his gems and the chair comes. He just looks. He goes, "What purpose does this serve?" I mean, it wasn't even like a good prank. He was just like, what purpose does this serve, you know? he actually made me feel ashamed for having pulled the prank, you know? So it's like, you know, we're just doing this to make you angry about Siver. What the fuck are you talking about, Mr. Fertitta?
Trying to gin up interest in the fight, that's all.
Well, you certainly did. I mean, that was like the equivalent of putting on lipstick and coming out tap dancing. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but now I care.
Just out of curiosity, what was the prank your friend pulled on you?
You're a good journalist, man. You should get your name on that. Well, okay, we had gone to, I can't even really tell the whole story, but I'll tell part. We had gone to a bar, right? And we were supposed to, it's back when we had the porno site and we were interviewing potential actresses. And we're sitting in a bar where we're supposed to meet this actress, and somehow the day got away from me, and I really had to use the toilet, you know? I had to use the toilet. And he goes, well, since you know what she looks like, why don't you stay here, you know, and get us drinks, and, you know, if she comes in, just wave her over. I go, okay, but I really have to use the toilet really, really badly, you know, So finally, like, the woman...
You told him this?
Yeah.
So he knew you had to go.
Yeah, so the woman finally shows up. She shows up before, and then he gets back, and we're talking, and the interview is going really well, and I guess we're thinking we're going to do some filming that night. And so I go, great.
Filming?
Yeah, come on, man. Just stick with the story.
All right.
So I get up because, you know, I figure it's not the most professional thing to do to show up on the set and immediately take a big stinky poop. So I'm going to go to the bar, and I go into the toilet, and it was like shit died in the toilet. There was shit on the wall. There was shit on the toilet. It was like a chimp went crazy in there. And at first I was like, maybe I could clean this, but it was so bad that you couldn't There was like no way that you were ever going to get close. I mean, obviously, and I go back to the table and I'm ranting. I'm like, just livid. I go, what kind of fucking animal would do? And he's like, tears in his eyes. Like, what are you fucking crying? Oh, it was you. And he was like, yeah, fuck, I got you. What did you do? He said, well, I pretty much stood up on the toilet, pointed my ass at the wall, and let it fly. I go, you're a fucked up guy, man. You were like an actually like a fucked up guy.
Was to twisty tie his gym bag to a chair.
Yeah, man, it was nice. No, that was my second attempt. My first attempt was to go blast his bathroom at his house. So I go blast the bathroom at his house, and I look around all satisfied, and he's got no toilet paper. And he's got no washcloth.
Oh, yeah. And now our karma for getting diverted is...
He's got a shower curtain that's got fungus on it, so I'm clearly not wiping my ass with that.
Well, it's good to know, Eugene. I'm not a prankster myself, but it sounds like you're a mark.
Yeah, I'm a mark. I'm just recounting it. How about the time he said, okay, we're gonna go. We got cage side. I got him cage side seats, media credential to go watch the fight in Vegas. He goes, great. I'll take care of the hotel. You take care of the airfare. Right? Great. So we fly to Vegas. I was like, all right, the fight's over. Hey, where are we staying? He goes, I never took care of the hotel. I go, where are we gonna sleep tonight? He goes, we're gonna live by our wits.
And what did you end up doing?
Sleeping on.
Oh, and the punchline was lost to the vagaries of your internet connection.
Lost it. There you go. Sleeping on the floor of McCarran Airport.
Oh, man. That's a beating, Eugene.
He's got me. I'm like Lucy, and this is Lucy and fucking Charlie Brown all over again, man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, if I pulled that on my friends, that would be a beating, or just like my plane ticket home would disappear. Like,
well, no. Look, let me tell you something. This is like a junkie. What keeps you going is like the big score. I gotta get him back. I think I maintain a friendship with him specifically and only in order to get him back.
Eugene, see, that's bad intent. The Buddha tried to warn you away from that sort of thing, and you didn't listen. Speaking of porn stars in MMA, though, have you seen Inherent Vice, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie?
No, so don't tell me anything about it.
Can I tell you two things about the casting?
Okay, go ahead.
It's got Keith Jardine in it and Belladonna in it, both in good roles, and Keith Jardine plays a Nazi.
Oh, what a stretch.
I thought you would enjoy the Nazi part. I saw the swastika on his face.
I like these guys. Look, some guy has approached me about I don't know if you can hear it. He's approached me about doing a movie role, and he said, I want you to play, and he's like nervous. Just tell me what the role is. He goes, I want you to play a super gay fashion designer. I go, great. I'm totally into it. He's like, you are? I go, I'm completely fine with it, man. That's great. When you get a budget, let me know. So, playing against type, that's what I like, And I know there's some guys out there going, against type.
Well, anybody who's seen
who's he trying to kid?
I mean, like, who wears lavender and blue together? Like, clearly.
Me.
See, exactly. That's why it's playing.
Yeah, coming from Mr. Chartreuse here.
Mauve. Come on.
Yeah, Mauve. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so Belladonna and Keith Jardine, so porn fans.
I got Belladonna stories, but I'll tell them some other time.
All right, yeah, we got to get through this. So Conor McGregor, Dennis Siver, we both think Conor McGregor is going to beat him now.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but Dennis Siver has the wrestling. Maybe he's got pretty good wrestling.
Yeah, well, he might open a door into Conor McGregor that we haven't seen open before, but I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
So, but I'm a Dennis Siver fan, man.
The spinning kick, man. This guy's
but you also got to understand that Ringen, which is what they call wrestling in Germany, that
another inopportune freeze. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Now you're back. Talk.
Yeah, talk. That was a great band. Talk.
I wouldn't say they were great. They had a couple.
No, actually, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the. I'm confused.
The.
Not to be confused with liquid.
Definitely not to be confused with Liquid Liquid. I don't know that the made great either. Maybe
No,
very
no,
good for
they're
people who
actually.
liked them.
I would ask you to reconsider the.
It was a one-man band and it wasn't bad. I mean, my
Yep.
brother
Yep.
liked them a lot, but I don't know. I wouldn't say they were great.
I didn't say great, but they're a better band than I thought they were at the time.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough, and probably better than Talk Talk
Yeah, oh yeah, much better than Talk Talk.
and Liquid Liquid.
No,
Okay, but
Liquid Liquid was great. Liquid Liquid was great. The drummer Richard Edson also was a drummer for Sonic Youth in the early days, and went on to be in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, as well
as
as a parking lot attendant who had the great line when he was asked, "Do you speak English?" And he looks at Ferris Bueller and goes, "What country do you think you're in?" And he also played the younger brother in Do the Right Thing, Richard Edson. I've got some video. He's a friend of Knuckle Up. I got some video of him around somewhere with us talking about martial arts. So,
all right, back to McGregor and Siver though. What happens if Siver wins, especially if Siver just lays and prays him for 5 rounds and it's a terrible fight? Does that kill the Conor McGregor hype?
if he lays and prays and loses, no. It gets him run out of town on a rail. If he wins, it derails the Conor McGregor hype quite substantially, which would be great. Everybody I know is betting on Siver just because they go, it's a smart money move, man. I can't lose. You know, I put in $50. How much do I stand to gain if he wins? It's a smart thing to do. But,
if you're into throwing away $50.
Correct. You know, which, you know, I mean, I get, yeah, what can you get for $50 nowadays? You might as well throw it away. So, you know.
A couple drinks, hey, you can fill up your car repeatedly now with these new low gas prices.
I told you about that. Here we go. I could give you your opportunity for Donna Shalala. It's like that friend of mine who was all upset one day when this prostitute that he went to a lot was found dead in a 60-gallon drum, murdered. And I was like, man, he's overflowing with the milk of human kindness. He actually cares. He's like, yeah, I mean, where am I going to get a $50 hooker again, man? It's sad. It's a sad day.
Yeah, I would Donna Shalala that one, but that's just too good.
Okay, I gave you the chance, you know.
And I already explained it, you know, during one of your mini breaks on this episode. So, you know, we had the time. So,
too bad my breaks aren't like Patrick Wyman's breaks, where Patrick Wyman is on. He's probably in Monte Carlo somewhere, right? No sexy drugs for Ian.
It's completely my fault that I forgot to plan ahead. I forgot to ask him about the show. We'd gotten out of the pattern of doing it with him. So, but I'll ask him to be back next time. He's just doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He works for Sure Dog. I've got no hold to hold over him, you know. Like
and Brent Brookhouse now has vacated the premises for a high-paying gig at USA Today. And you think it's too soon to ask him for a loan?
No, by all means, go right ahead.
I'm going to go on his Facebook page like in the next hour and start asking him for cash in a very public way.
By all means, because and congratulations, Brent Brookhouse, our longtime managing editor at Bloody Elbows, moving on to MMA Junkie and USA Today. So, I'm
going to ask him some really. I'm going to have him on Knuckle Up and ask him really uncomfortable, like how much you making now, man? Well, Eugene, I don't really want to talk about cash. Yeah. How much? You're making the big money now, right? Usually, can we talk about the fight? Yeah, whatever. How much?
Well, you should ask him to do some investigative reporting and find out how much Ben Folks is getting over there at USA Today. Huh?
He's another rich guy.
Yeah, my suspicion is he's making more than Brookhouse. So,
yeah.
You know, it could stir up some dissension there. All right. Well, anything else we need to cover about these fights? And Eugene freezes again. I'll take that as a no.
There you go. Ben steak and champagne only Fox.
All right. So
it's not all right. It's not all right. The man in my position should. All right.
You're the one working for Ozzy, the hot upcoming.
Ozzy, don't even start. Slowly I turned. Yeah. Right. Eugene gets his way every day on the 1st to 15th. For some reason. Ask Bone Thugs in Harmony why. You know.
Now that was music. Back in my day, we had a little thing we called hip hop. All right, so that's it for the show. Remember to give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. The thing about the B channel is on hold for the time being. You can read Eugene at Aussie.com, also at Vice's Fightland now and again. You can follow us both on Twitter. I'm at KidNate. Eugene is at Eugene S. Robinson. I don't even know if he's here with us right now. Remember to read.
Yes, I am.
There he is. He's back. Just another, but still frozen with like. I have to say, this of all the goofy expressions you've had on your face, frozen. This is the goofiest one. Can you see this one?
No, I can't. I see me moving. Actually, I'm doing the Cabbage Patch.
And all of that was lost. All we had was a black screen, but there's a tiny little avatar of the goofiest face you've made so far this episode. So that's it. That's it for our show. Adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Later.